Okay. So I am a day late posting it, but today is time to finally talk about the 2 week results of living at 1,000 calories per day. I have been very strict about this. I have been underneath the number. And a funny story, a couple days ago, I ended up getting what was like 4 or 5 days notice that on day 15 of my 1,000 calorie day diet, that I would be taking an Army combat fitness test, which was less than ideal. I admit I was both annoyed with that and conflicted about potentially even stopping this process to try and get a little more energy in me to try and perform better on this test. But I saw that it was a diagnostic, which means you can try, and if you pass, it becomes a for record test. But if you fail, there's no mark on your permanent record. And I figured, YOLO, we're going to go ahead and just run this thing through, and I'll do an Army physical fitness test on 1,000 calories a day. I give a whole other video. I'll link it below and at the side where I talk about my experience doing that. But that was a thing that was going on. But let's get back to just the normal process of what has been my progress. And the first week, the first 7 days of doing 1,000 calories a day, we've talked about this before. You can often, when you change calorie intake dramatically, or if you go to the keto route, your body will deplete itself of some glycogen stores if you go into a pretty strict calorie deficit. And you will often get the whoosh effect, some of the diet community calls it, where you lose a decent chunk of water weight. So your first week can be pretty dramatic. And my first week was 8 pounds. And that is a lot of weight in 1 week. And I was very clear at the end of the first week that I did not expect that rate would continue. I consider anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds to be, hey man, high five, 1 or 2 pounds per week as a really strong weight loss progress. I happened to pull another 3 pounds this week. So we're back down closer to where I think a more manageable long-term rate of weight loss is until we get down towards our goal. So I started this journey at 208 pounds. After 1 week, I was 200.4 pounds. And believe it or not, the decimal stands strong. I was down to, or was it from 208 down to what was it? It was 208 down to 200.4. That's it. And then down to 197.4 was what I was the morning of the 14th day of my calorie deficit. Again, the major take-home points for me are boredom is a big source of calories, right? So if you find yourself sitting at home and you've got foods that don't match your goals all over your kitchen, you will be very tempted to go get them. So either make yourself busy, leave the house on a task, go for a walk, throw a backpack on if you're going to go rucking. I've got some links to some the rucks that I use below when I'm carrying weight and walking. It's a great exercise, good for calorie burning in my mind, and just do something to avoid the boredom there, right? The other thing is that failure to plan can produce moments that might be potentially awkward for you, right? So if you don't think about the fact, well, maybe I'm going to be going out to dinner tonight with my family, if you burn through all your calories and you're intent on you will stay to a strict calorie deficit diet, you will have moments where you say to your family, hey, I'm going to go with you, but I will watch you eat and I'll just sit there and have a drink. Or you will, if it makes you feel self-conscious. I want to be super clear, it shouldn't. And if it makes you feel self-conscious, you just won't go, right? So I have already had moments where I told my family during this, hey man, I messed up, I already ate all my calories, I'll go with you and I'll grab a drink. And that is a thing that I've done because I have decided that I will be militant on this. Now, has recording this whole this process and doing a video series on this, has this increased the likelihood that I will be tough and be strong and actually follow the guidelines and not, mess up? It has, because there were a couple moments where, well, not a couple, but I literally found myself in a Taco Bell drive-thru the other day. I was driving home. I was like, man, I'm kind of a little hungry. And then kind of in a trance, just like bad habits and stuff, I just was in the Taco Bell drive-thru. And I was looking up at the menu, and I'm going, okay, I think I'm gonna get a good. Wait, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be under 1,000 calories. And I was in a drive-thru, right? So I drove away and was like, come on, Scott, come on, you got to be stronger than that. But that's a thing that you got to think about, right? And so if those moments happen, you need to make sure you do a couple of things. One, don't beat yourself up if you kind of, made the wrong choice there for what your goals are. But hop back on the train, man. Don't wallow in it. Just hop back on it and say, hey, that happened. That's in the past, and my next decision will be the quote unquote right one to get me towards my goals. So that's an important thing. The other thing is you will not have peak athletic performance as evidenced by my Army Combat Physical Fitness Test. You will not have peak physical performance. You will not. You can still work out. Okay, I go to an hour of calisthenics a couple times a week with a group of guys here in town. I can still go out in my garage and lift. I still throw on the ruck bag, the Go Ruck, and I go for a walk with some weight on my back. I can still do those things. Am I pushing PRs and all that sort of stuff? I am not. And are there moments where I feel like more gassed out and tired than I regularly do? Absolutely, right? But this is a short-term process to get me to a weight goal that I think is appropriate and healthier than where I was. And then once I get there, and then I can re-up my calories to a maintenance level for that weight instead of being in a dramatic calorie deficit to drop my weight rapidly. At that point, I will be thinner and then getting full calories to maintain my activity level. And man, I should feel pretty great, as opposed to walking around at a BMI close to 30, right? And that's just it's more weight to move around than I need to, and I didn't feel as light on my feet or healthy doing that. And there are certainly health risk goals, everything from cardiovascular stuff to arthritis, just the structure and the physics of weight. So it's a good thing that I'm doing this process, and I think it's good. And I think that recording this for you has helped me stay strong. So far, we are at 2 weeks. I am down 11 pounds, which is a little more than I thought I would be. But I'm doing okay. I feel pretty good. And now you can watch the video of me doing an ACFT test on day 15 of 1,000 calories per day. What a ridiculous thing that was to do. I still don't know why I did it, but enjoy. Have a nice day, guys.